There's some incredible physiques in the Dragon Ball universe, but in today's video, I want to go over what I think are the top 5 physiques, at least from a bodybuilding perspective, in all of the Dragon Ball universe. You know, there's multiple universes, whatever. I want to go over which characters have the best physiques out of all the universes in all of the Dragon Ball series. So this is my opinion from a bodybuilding perspective. We're going to go over things like muscularity, size, proportions, conditioning, all that sort of stuff in this video. So let's go ahead and jump into it with our number 5, which is the one and only Master Roshi. So this guy comes in, and if you just saw him in his old man form, you would be like, this is just a perverted old grandpa. I did a whole video on him. Like, you wouldn't think much of him, but if you've watched long enough or you know the manga or anything, then you know this guy has a crazy full power form. His max power form is just wild. He goes from being an old perverted grandpa to bam, like this jacked older guy that has like a perfect bodybuilding build. Like, look at this physique right here. The shoulders, the chest, the small waist even. He invented the small waist as a mass monster before that was even a thing in modern bodybuilding. And then he had these massive legs. I mean, his physique overall is just incredible. I think he's got a wonderful physique. He's got big arms, big shoulders. And if we look at it from a bodybuilding perspective, there are a few nitpicky things I could definitely point out. Like his arms and shoulders and his chest, they kind of like overpower the rest of his physique. And in a lot of these shots, his legs look a little bit smaller, to be honest. I mean, in this one, I think this is probably the most perfect shot of him from a bodybuilding perspective because his legs actually look big in this shot. But in this one, his arms are still just like, they're a little bit too overpowering, like, and I don't see his lats kind of popping out. So the proportions are off just a little bit, I think. But I mean, he's obviously got really good conditioning. You can see the veins, you can see the muscular separation. Yeah, I'd like to see a little bit more, you know, detail in the ab area if I were going to be super nitpicky. But there's a reason he's my number 5 out of all the Dragon Ball Z characters, and that's because he just is max power Roshi. Like, this guy is the guy that you want training you in bodybuilding. Like, I could see him being an amazing bodybuilding coach. He actually reminds me of some bodybuilding coaches. So this guy is number 5. Now, jumping in at number 4, we have the one and only Goku, of course. Now, there are many different versions of Goku that we could choose from. I think there's 2 that really stand out to me, and that's his Super Saiyan form on Namek, and of course his Kaioken form on Earth. And in both of these forms, he's just absolutely massive and has a really good bodybuilding physique. I think the Super Saiyan is probably slightly more of a favorite of mine. So he's got amazing delts. Like, look at the delt separation right there. Look at the bicep separation from the tricep, the forearms, the small waist. Like, this guy has got it. And I would say that while he could compete in an open bodybuilding division with the really big guys, I think he would do better with people like Chris Bumstead on the classic physique level. Like, look at this. If this isn't a classic physique, I don't know what is. Like, that is a wonderful physique right there. And shout out to Akira Toriyama because he knows art, he knows muscularity. I know that a lot of his inspiration came from American culture with like action movies, like with Arnold and stuff like that. So obviously he knows a lot about this stuff. And I mean, this guy just looks phenomenal. This version of Goku is my favorite version of Goku, I really gotta say. What's your favorite version of Goku? Let me know in the comments down below. So yeah, he's got it all. He's got a great chest, great abs, great muscularity, great definition, and even in the Kaioken form, I actually think he might be a little bit more bulky in this form, depending on the shot that we're looking at. I just don't think he's quite as well conditioned. And he's not quite as stoic. I mean, obviously, because we're not seeing the Super Saiyan for the first time ever. Shout out to those of you who grew up in the 90s and remember seeing Goku turn into a Super Saiyan when we thought it was just a myth. You know, for the first time. I just remember just being mind blown as a kid, like, whoa, there it is. Oh my gosh. Like, I felt like Vegeta for the first time when he found out that it was real and that it wasn't him. So Goku is definitely up there, definitely top 5. And depending on the shot, really, a lot of these characters could interchange. You know, like Roshi, if it's an open bodybuilding competition, would probably beat Goku. But if it was classic physique competition, Goku would probably beat Roshi. So they could really be interchangeable. But either way, they're still top 5. So that was number 4. Coming in at number 3 is a newer character, Kale, specifically like her full power form. So she is, I believe, a legendary Super Saiyan. Isn't she like Broly in the other universe or something like that? Honestly, I didn't keep up with Super as much as I did like Dragon Ball and Dragon Ball Z, but I do know that her physique is phenomenal. She actually looks like a female bodybuilder, like an open bodybuilder. You would literally see female open bodybuilders that look like this. They're incredible. And I just love whenever she transforms and everyone's like, whoa, that's not what a normal transformation looks like, you know, but she's just got muscles for days. I actually really like the art style with her because she still keeps her, believe it or not, like her femininity, even within being a bodybuilder-esque form, right? So that's why she reminds me of a female bodybuilder. And of course, there's different versions of her and everything. But yeah, this middle one right here, open bodybuilding for sure. Some of her other forms would be good for like a classic physique or something like that. But I got you. I bet you didn't think there was going to be a female character on this list, did you? So she comes in at number 3. Now, before we get to number 2 and 1, I want to go over a couple of honorable mentions. The first is Trunks. Trunks in any form is just phenomenal, but especially in Super Saiyan grade 3 form, I think his physique is great. And honestly, when I was remembering this, I thought I remembered this as grade 2, like Super Saiyan 2 when he was fighting Cell, but I guess it is grade 3, just looking it up here. But either way, he's got a phenomenal physique, and he could definitely be in this top 5 as well, depending on the division that we're talking about. He's got that slim and narrow waist. He's got huge thighs, huge calves, huge arms. I think like Roshi, he's got a little bit of a proportion issue, maybe even more so of one, because his arms are like literally so overshadowing to his chest. And even things like his calves are like as big as his quads. Like I would like to see his quads be just a bit bigger. I'd like to see maybe his shoulders actually be reduced just a little bit, and maybe his chest, you know, increased just a bit, something like that. There's just a little something off with the proportions. But other than that, like, I mean, this is a crazy physique. Like it almost doesn't get better than this. It's incredible. So I have 2 more honorable mentions, and the next one is Orange Piccolo, who I personally think looks a little bit more yellow, except for in the arms. But what do you guys think? What color is Orange Piccolo actually? Let me know in the comments below. So yeah, he's got a phenomenal physique, really big arms, really big chest, really big traps. He kind of looks like a strongman competitor almost, more so than a bodybuilder. Like he's got those massive arms, that massive chest, that he's not like super wide. He doesn't have like a big V taper, but he's just thick, you know, like really thick, just like a strongman competitor would be. And I remember seeing this version of him for the first time in the movie, and I was like, okay, Piccolo's back in action. Like, he is relevant again, right? So yeah, just look at that plate chest right there. It's like he's wearing a plate of armor. It's really incredible. So he's another honorable mention. And then the last one is going to be Adult Gohan in some of his forms. Like sometimes like you see him and he's like very nerdy looking and stuff. But then sometimes you see him and he's like this. He's like, wow, okay, he's got some good arms, some good delts, good chest. Like he's got a good overall physique. And I don't know of a whole lot of really good physique shots of him, but you can kind of just tell like with his chest, his arms and everything. Like if he were to take off his gi, he would be, you know, probably like a men's physique kind of competitor. Like not super big, but like could definitely like compete in some sort of physique competition. Like he's got a great physique. I feel like a lot of guys would probably really like a physique like this, where it's not like super overly muscular, but you have that kind of superhero-esque type of physique. All right, so that's all the honorable mentions. If you're enjoying this video, make sure to like and subscribe, as it really helps out the channel, and even think about hitting that notification bell so you don't miss any more videos just like this. All right, so on to our number 2 competitor, and that is the one and only Tien. Now, I just recently did a video on this guy as well, so if you haven't seen that, make sure to check it out. I really do like a full physique breakdown, and honestly, he just has a great physique, and he's not a Saiyan, which is pretty cool. I don't know, is he technically human? I'm not really sure with his third eye and everything going on, but I'm not sure what he is, but I know that he would do really well in a bodybuilding competition, and he's got delts for days. I also made a video on how to get delts very similar to Tien, so if you haven't seen that one, check it out as well. His arms are phenomenal, his chest is phenomenal, he's got a great overall physique. And this is one of my favorite shots of him because you can kind of see all of his upper body. You can see the abs, you can see the serratus, the lats, the biceps, the triceps, the shoulders, all of it. This is just a great bodybuilding shot right here. Like, he would do so well. I think in classic physique specifically, I think he could definitely compete in the other divisions as well. He's kind of got like a mid-size level physique. He's not like super muscular like Master Roshi or some of the versions of Trunks that we saw. So he's got a phenomenal physique overall. And to be honest, he's got one of my favorite physiques in all of anime. But he's not number 1. Can you guess who number 1 is? I bet you probably can, because that goes out to the one and only legendary Super Saiyan, Broly. Now, I like his physique in all forms. Like in his base form, he could do really well in some of the smaller divisions, like the men's physique division. Like he has got a I mean, just a really good physique with really great proportions, a slim and narrow waist, really muscular, all that sort of stuff. He would do really great in this version, honestly. I mean, he's drawn to be like a bodybuilder. Like, that is exactly what he is. But don't even get me started on his full power form, because this is where he really shines. He just goes from having a great physique, like one that can match a lot of people in Dragon Ball Z, to having the best physique. Like, it's just hard to beat this. I mean, especially from a bodybuilding perspective. Now, would I want to look like this? Probably not. Like, I'd probably rather look like that version of TN that we saw earlier, this version right here, or maybe adult Gohan or something like that. But that's just my perspective. You know, some people would want to look like this. This would be like the biggest of the big open bodybuilders plus some. Like, this guy is phenomenal, and he would definitely win in an open bodybuilding division. I mean, you just couldn't beat that. And then on top of that, of course, we have like the old version, the new version. I did a comparison video on those two. They would both do really, really well in Mr. Olympia. They both have great physiques. There's some great attributes to each. But either way, whatever version we're looking at of Broly, he kills the competition. He is incredible. He is my #1 physique in all of the Dragon Ball universe. So those are my picks for top 5. Who else would you put on this list? Let me know in the comments down below. And if you enjoyed this video, make sure to like and subscribe. I'll catch you in the next one.